practice. Okay, so we've been practicing the steps of writing a story. As we said, we start by thinking of the characters. So we decide on the title of the story, then we decide on the characters of the story, and we start writing the story map, right? Where we write the details in a chart so we can have an idea what will happen in the beginning, middle, and end. And then we start organizing the details of the story in complete sentences, right? And today we will, and then we said after that we will, after the story map, we will start writing our story in a paragraph. So, but is that our final story? No, it's called the draft. So the draft is capital letter end with correct end mark, or if we can use describing words to make the story better. Okay, so as we mentioned before, that we started, like, let me try to show you, right? We put our story in a story map in the correct sequence for beginning, middle, and end, and then we start writing our draft where we revise the details of each story. Like, for example, here we wrote in our draft, Max Mouse lived in a hole. So here we can add a word such as deep. Okay, this word, the word deep, shows you, is a describing word to show you that Max Mouse lived in a deep hole. So we can use adjectives or describing words to our sentences to make the story more interesting, right? Remember, the author should write stories that entertains his reader. Here in our second sentences, we added something else. We said, but the hole got filled up. So what happened? We added, but one day, here between the sentence, but one day the hole got filled up with mud. So that means the hole that he used to live in got filled up. Now we know what it got filled up with. We are adding more describing words to help us make the story more interesting. Okay, and here is the sample of our draft. A draft is like a picture or the first copy of our story where we write the title and we start writing the details of a story in the correct sequence, but with more interesting or describing words. Okay? What else? What do? We have to proofread. We must reread the story again to check for spelling mistakes, if we put the adjectives correctly, if we are comparing two different things. Remember, we add ER to the adjective or EST when comparing more than one thing. We should make sure that our sentences begin with capital letter and end with the correct end mark, such as statement, question, or exclamation. Okay, so today what we did in class, we started proofreading or revising our story here. Here, this is a story that someone wrote, and we in class today started adding words or adding sentences to make it more interesting. So let's start reading. It says here, answers will vary. So you can change the answers. Okay, you can have more than one answers depending on what describing word you want to add. Okay, let's start reading and I'll show you what we did. So the title is Bunny Rabbit's New Friend. Bunny Rabbit wants to play with the kids. They tell her to go away. Bunny goes in the house. Mom and Bunny make muffins. They go to Skunk's house. Sweet Skunk is there too. Sweet Skunk is smaller than Bunny Rabbit. They are now friends. Okay, so what I told your friends today in class, I told them that Bunny Rabbit is, the word bunny is bunny means a small rabbit. Okay, so Bunny Rabbit's new friend. So Bunny Rabbit is a small rabbit and she wants to go play with the kids. Okay, in class we added the word big because Bunny means that she's small, so she wanted to go play with the big kids, the kids that are bigger than her. Okay, so we added the adjective or the describing word big to show the story that she was small and she wanted to play with the other kids. They tell her, go away. So the big kids tell her to go away. How do you think the bunny rabbit felt? She felt sad. So we added another sentence here saying, Bunny rabbit feels sad. Bunny goes in the house. So after the kids tell her to go away, she feels sad. She feels sad and she goes into her house. What happens next? Mom and Bunny make muffins. Okay, since it's plural, we decided to add a number to describe how many muffins Bunny and her mom made. So in class, I think we wrote another number, but here the book gave you 10. Okay, so Mom and Bunny make 10 muffins. They go to Skunk's house. Sweet Skunk is there too. Squeak Skunk is small than. Remember, when you are small than Bunny Rabbit. So here we are comparing two animals. You have Sweet Skunk and Bunny Rabbit. So remember, when you are comparing between two things, you add er to the adjective. So the sentence should be Sweet Skunk is smaller than Bunny Rabbit. Okay, they are now, and we added another adjective or another describing word such as best. They are now best friends, or you can write now they are now good friends. It depends on what adjective or describing word you want to add. Okay, so this is a way of making a story more interesting. So what do you do after you write your first draft? You go back and you revise it, you reread it, and try to find describing words to make your story more entertaining, more fun for the reader. Okay? Okay. Oh, how did a nice surprise, and we will look for excuse me. Okay, we look for mistakes. We will make a triangular if we need to add a word or we need to add an end mark. We will add a dash if we need to take something out, and we will add triple or 3 lines to make a letter capital. Okay, and of course, as we said, the answers will be different for some people, but there are some things that will be exactly the same. Like they cannot change. Okay, I'm gonna read it first, and then we're gonna go through how we're gonna change it. A nice surprise. Tom has a problem. He took Anne's bike for a ride. Now it scratched. What can he do? Tom gave all his pennies to Anne. She said it was okay. She even gave Tom his pennies back. Okay, so the story is about a boy. His name is Tom, and he has a problem. Okay, Tom has a problem. He took Anne's bike for a ride. So Tom took Anne's bike for a ride to ride it. Okay, so as the first sentence, Tom has a problem. It doesn't have an end mark. So we will add a triangular thing and put a period on top because the sentence does not have an end mark. Tom has a problem. Sentence number 2, he took Anne's bike for a ride. Anne is a person's name. So it should be capital because it's a proper noun. He took Anne's bike for a ride. Now it is scratched. Okay, now it is scratched. You have to capitalize the first letter because, as we said, each letter must begin with capital letter. Okay, or we must capitalize a name. Okay, so Tom has a problem, period. He took Anne's bike for a ride. We have to capitalize the person's name. Now it is scratched. So we can underline the first letter. What can he do? Here it says, what can he do? The sentence begins with what, which is a question word. So it's asking you, what can he do? And the end mark is period. No, it should be a question mark because he's thinking of what he can do. So this is a question. What can he do? A question mark. Tom gave all his pennies to Anne. She said it was okay. She even gave Tom his pennies back. Okay, so everything here is fine. We just have to add an end mark. She says she even gave Tom his pennies back. Here means like she said it was okay that he scratched his back. She even gave him his pennies back. Okay, you can put an exclamation or a period. All right, and that was it for our writing. Okay, so today you'll find your writing project sheet on SMS, and you will have till May 10th to finish it. Okay, that's almost 2 weeks. Hopefully you'll do every step one at a time. Take it care. Each step has a mark as mentioned on the sheet. Okay, and hope you all do well. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.